Let's go,
You're
baby.
listening to Kick-Ons with Firman and Jaay.
Yeah! We're back.
It's been like 3 months. That's
Literally
longer than that.
2 months, 2.5 months we've been away, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Kick-Ons podcast with Firman and Jaay.
Hello.
We're back. COVID
Hello.
couldn't keep us down. Lockdowns couldn't keep us down. Nightclubs kept us down, but we're back. Firman, how you feeling?
Pretty good. It's good to be back. It's good to be back on location, season 2.
Yes, sir. Rain Square, Perth, WA.
Live from Cabinet Noir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first guest for season 2, episode 1. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Edward Maradona.
Yeah.
Where's the horn? There we go.
There he is right
Smoke
there.
machine.
Fashionista, Perth icon, Perth owner, entrepreneur, and good friend of ours.
Yes.
Eddie, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Just got out of gym.
Yes.
Straight into this podcast.
Starting Monday or Friday.
I've been waiting for the invite to get on this podcast for a long time since season 1, but whatever. Season 2.
Hey,
We're here now.
New chapter.
hey, good things come to those who wait. Obviously,
Correct.
S30. Shout out to the guys at S30.
S30.
Killing the
Fit.
gym. Here we go. Look at him. He's on a warpath this month, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie, the man himself, on a changing technique and diet.
Guys, let's cheers to us,
Yes,
actually.
cheers.
to you guys and this lockdown.
Thank you.
We're out of it, baby.
We're out of it.
The boys are drinking. What are you drinking?
Shout
Running
out to Running with
Thieves.
Thieves.
Shout outs.
I was sponsoring our events.
Both local, eh?
Perth local. South Frio. Check out the huge new place.
Yeah, it looks big.
amazing place. We need to do an event there.
Well, guys from Freo.
Make it happen.
Let's get it started, ladies and gentlemen. We know Eddie out, obviously, because of Cabinet Noir, but we don't know young Eddie. So, Eddie, talk to us about how you've come to this location. What brought you here? Young Eddie. Talk to us about young Eddie.
Young Eddie. So at this point in my life, I think I lived like 3 different versions of me.
Wow.
Okay.
So the insecure me, high school me, which we don't want to talk about.
Okay.
We can talk about it. And then the dancer me. A lot of people knew me from back in the day. Called me Edit. So that was my b-boy name. So those who don't know what b-boy is, it's breakdancing.
Okay.
We don't call it breakdancing. It's incorrect term. So we used to term b-boys b-girls.
Just saying, okay.
So breaking, that's been my life since high school.
Yeah.
And again, I started from insecure, high school kid, bullied. I just want to be fit in. There's a girl that I like. So I was like, hey, I got to start at
Impress,
dance. I was
yeah.
like, I'm trying to impress her. And then I just got trapped in that hip hop world. Then my mentor, Benny Benz, called me, named me Edit. And I was stuck to this day.
Cool.
And so people who know me Edit, knew me from back in the days.
Wow,
Knew me
okay.
as a dancer, not Cabinet Noir. The Cabinet Noir, life came probably 7-8 years ago when I started the business.
Wow. Okay. So pre this stuff, pre Cab Noir.
Yeah. So
You were.
it was kind of annoying when people start calling me Edit because my handle was actually Edit or Race my brand,
brand.
streetwear brand.
Okay.
On Instagram. So people
Wow.
start calling me Edit and I'm like, you don't know me. You can't call me Edit.
Well, okay, it was more of like a close friends, in the scene.
Or the hip hop guys.
Yeah,
call me
yeah.
Edit. I was like, you don't know
Okay.
me. You call me Edward. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, interesting.
And then when I became Cabinet Noir, I changed it back. Hey, you know what? People need to know my full name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Edit always gone. Edward Maradona now.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But those guys, you always still call me Edit.
Yeah.
Then I knew, all right, you knew me from the hip hop days.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the days.
Wow. Okay. So where did you go to school? Like, where are your parents from? How'd you end up in Perth?
I'm an immigrant. Came here when I was 10, 11, couldn't speak English.
Shout out to the immigrants.
Shout out to
Shout
immigrants, and that kind of at school being bullied, the first thing I needed was I need to learn how to speak English.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? As
So was it
Asian-
hard? Because obviously 10 years old, you're like going in, you're like kind of developed in your home language or tongue.
Yeah, your native language.
And then
I was put in the dip end, man. It's we didn't go to English schools here. We just all right, mom and dad's you going straight to private school.
okay.
And all you had to say was this is an apple. This how just very very basic thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's as I was learning and I was trying Eddie, read this chapter in a paragraph, and I was just fuck, don't call me out.
Yeah.
And then I got sent to the English second language group, the ESL. And I was
Yes.
shout out to ESLs. And then that's when I learned, you know what, man, if you don't know how to learn how to speak English properly, they're going to bully you. They're going to look down on you.
Yeah.
And I've seen that to all the other guys who got bullied, all the other Asians and minorities, they got bullied because they couldn't speak English. They laugh behind their back.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
Even if they pronounce something wrong, they'd be
Yeah.
and then I just you know what, fuck you. I'm going to learn how to speak. I'm going to learn how to talk like you guys,
Yeah.
you know, and just talking in front of a mirror, like pronouncing, you know, how to pronounce the was like the hard thing for me, like three. In Indonesian, we like three, right? We don't pronounce the sound.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, how the fuck do you pronounce the sound? You know, and it was like a hard thing to say.
Wow.
So it was like a long progress. Every time like someone will like, you know, fix me how to say this, like I would say a certain word incorrectly and they'll be like, oh, and they'll laugh and I'm like, oh, hang on, how do you actually say that word? And I'll repeat it at night.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so these things kind of like happen. So, and then it led into, you know, in high school, rejected by girls, like trying to go to like social. I went to Hale school, by the way. Like
Hale.
Oh, you went to Hale?
Yeah. So people don't know this.
Wow,
So
that's
like,
exclusive.
man, they think I'm
that's a big
jealous,
lefty,
bro.
right?
Yeah.
You know, but I went to the best school in Perth. Not, you know, not gonna brag, but it's
Yeah.
also
Oh, yeah,
like,
it is. Yeah.
you know, if you don't know what Hale School is, like the, you know, private school, all boys.
Damn.
So there's no social life really,
Aspect, yeah, of
It's
course.
just like we had socials with like girls from St. Mary's and stuff like that. And at the social, we just want to dance with somebody, want to
Yeah, of
hook up with a
course.
girl, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
Wow.
and you know, that was like struggle. Like, hey, can I dance with you? And they're like, sure. And then they're not even interested. And it's like, and after like a song, we're left.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck, this sucks. My game sucks. I didn't have a game.
Yeah.
And then, you know, at the time there was MSN. I'm going back to like back in the days.
That's my jam,
like,
MSN, baby.
MSN,
MSN.
all these like chatting platform, and you know, just and then I met up a couple of people there, and you know, like a couple of kids there, and I started hanging out with Churchland kids, and
Oh,
you know,
here
like,
we go.
And I was like, all right, hanging out with the girls there.
Yeah.
And then I met this girl. I was like, had biggest crush, and she was in hip hop, and I wasn't into hip hop. I was into like Blink-182, Offspring.
Ah, okay.
So that was like my jam back then, you know,
Wow.
like, so even now, so I'm going back to my roots, which is like alternative rock. Like
Yeah.
people think it's hip hop, but I'm like, no, my roots actually alternative rock.
Wow. A
Before I
little
go
insight
to
into
hip-hop.
young Eddie.
Yeah, so this is like young Eddie.
Wow.
So that's why I love Blink-182. You know, it's my shit.
course.
Then she was like, I listened to Lauryn Hill. I was like, whoa, knowledge drops straight. I didn't even notice until now, right? I'm like, holy shit, like she wasn't dropping some knowledge back then.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Very
Lauryn
influential.
Hill, Queen. A lot of people think Sade's Queen, but you know, for me, Lauryn Hill all the way.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill
Oh, best
album.
MTV Unplugged, still one of the best albums ever.
Yep.
So yeah, I was like, she's like, oh, listen to Lauryn Hill, let's listen to this. Like, started getting to R&B, hip hop, and then that was when the music video clip by Run DMC, "It's Like That" came out.
Wow. Okay.
It's like that, and I see like two groups like breaking. I was like, what the fuck is this? If I can do that, I can impress her. Do you know what I
Wow.
mean? And then I was just one day, I was just telling her, oh man, I was at this video clip. I want to learn how to break dance, trying to impress her. And she's like, oh, cool. Probably didn't care. and then one day she's like, hey, I found this flyer at Live store. At the time, Live was the coolest store. In
Yeah,
Perth, right?
correct.
And like, there's a flyer, breakdance workshop, and this guy from Germany is teaching it. And I'm like, oh, what? It's crazy, $10 for a class. So I went check it out, and this guy literally was just flying in the studio. I'm like, hang on, what is going on? He's so good. And then that's when I, you know, like started doing the class, and I'm like, and he's like, yeah, my name is bboy Nico. Shout out to Nico, Simba, aka Simba. He's like, yo, yeah, I've been dancing for 6 years. In my head, 6 years. I was 16, 15 at the time. By the time I'm 21, I can be like him. I'm like so good, and he's jacked up, you know. It's like German, like blue eyes. I'm like, man, this guy's sick. I'm sure he pulled a lot of girls. I'm like in my head, I'll be like him. So that was like my journey into hip hop, into breaking, and then I met a lot of people. And then after that, just a lot of opportunities starting to come up, like So You Think You Dance.
Yep.
You know, I got a TV show for like 2 seasons. I was like in there on the show.
Whoa.
I did not know this.
I did not know that at all.
I did not know this at all. Yeah.
You're telling me you were on the team, So You Think You Can Dance,
So
Australia.
I was on So You Think You Dance first season.
Holy exclusives right here, exclusives.
Do you have any clips or anything that you can show?
That was pre-YouTube.
okay.
That was no
right.
YouTube. There was like
wow.
You didn't record anything. You didn't keep anything.
So this is a story with So You Think You Dance. Not a lot of people know about this, right?
Exclusive. Let's
And
go,
this was
baby.
the first season, so they had the biggest budget then. So they brought thousands of dancers from all around the world to audition.
Yeah.
Right? And so we had the best b-boys, the best ballet, the best contemporary, salsa, whatever.
Wow.
Right? And then, so they had the audition. The audition was insanely big. I was like, wow, I think we had 1,000 people rocked up in Perth.
Whoa.
5,000 people rocked up in Melbourne, Sydney, even more.
Wow.
Right? And then they picked top 100 to go into Sydney, which
Yeah.
is
Yep.
their big qualification round.
Yeah.
And then in the top 100, everyone was just the best out of the best, right?
Wow.
yeah.
So we went there for like a week, met the best dancers you ever know, and like, you know, insane talents. And I'm like, that's when I appreciate, oh man, I appreciate ballet dancers now. I appreciate contemporary dancers.
Yeah,
now.
for
I
sure.
appreciate
The hard work
every
they put
single,
in.
Yeah.
it's hard discipline. And we just kind of like swap moves and swap stories. I'm like, so what do you do? I'm like, oh, I can do eight pirouettes on my foot. I'm like, wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I can do this kind of crazy backflip and like, what? And then it got into prelims. So you got 180 and then start cutting people off
Yeah.
every
Yeah, of
day,
course.
cutting people off. And then I got into top 20. I'm like, after that, this is
Wow.
top 10. All right? And then top 10. And this is why I don't like about the show. Before you go into top 10, I have to fill up this form. I'm like, and so how telling the producers who I am.
Yeah.
What's your most painful experiences in life? And I'm like, nothing really. I live good. I went to
Yeah.
hell. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my parents kind of like feed me well. My life's been good.
Yeah.
So I just went, nothing. I just wrote that in that big paragraph. Nothing, because they're looking for stories. you
Yeah,
see?
okay.
They're looking for sub stories.
Yeah.
Right? So I went there, and it was between me and this other guy. And he's an orphan.
Oh, GG. See you later,
okay.
Eddie.
Yeah, so
Immediate
I was like-
knockout. Immediate knockout. See you later.
Right? So I was like, I didn't even know that until like later on. I was like, me between him, I'm like, oh man, sure, I'll be in.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm like, I'm so far in, like, in this, out of the everyone, I'm like, surely I'll be in the top 10. So then later on, I did get in. It was like between me and him. It's like, and they picked him. I'm
Yeah,
like,
obviously,
what?
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't know the backstory until later on. Like the judges went, Eddie, I want you to try again next season. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then after that, there was a competition, like an offshoot, So You Think You Dance. They held it as like one of the shopping centers where the winners get to fly out to Sydney.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I won that.
Yeah.
And I flew to Sydney and I won that. And I met the judges again.
Yeah.
So the judge was, yo, I remember you from an audition. Now, I
Wow.
gotta tell you something.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh shit, what? Like, so us all judges picked you, but the producers picked that guy.
What, wait, did they say this on air or no?
No,
They
no,
said
this
it-
is on
okay.
air.
Wait,
Oh,
they never
God.
put it in. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it was like, what? Like, dude, that's whack. I'm
Shit.
like, I was kind of pissed. I'm like, really? Like, dude, that's so whack. Yeah, but this is the TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
So, but I want
Ratings,
you
views.
to go in again next season.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure you're in. So next season, I tried again.
Yeah.
Got through top 100, Sydney, which is free trip, everything. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the guys. And then I get a call back. Say, all right, I want you to, want you back here. And then at the time, my friends are like, yo, we're going to Switzerland. There's a competition, b-boy competition there.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
That's like all the best b-boys going to be there. You know what? Fuck you, TV show. I'm going to see. I'm going to
shit,
compete there.
okay.
Whoa.
So I went there and we end up in the top 16, which for me is like really dope because all the best b-boys in the world there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the only Australians made the top 16.
Whoa.
Did you ever think about what path you would have taken if you stayed on the show?
Oh, I'll be like famous for like a year. That was it.
Yeah, okay.
But you can't make money out of that. It's zero.
Yeah, okay.
It just depends how good you are, right? Just
Yeah,
depends
but
how
like,
good you
it's
are.
just like, yeah, just cool status. Like, I want So You Think Dance. And
Yeah.
you know, a lot
Yeah.
of my friends, like, I know the winners and I know like the top 3 and 4
Yeah.
and they're still hustling. You know, it's not like your life-changing experience.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
going to like, you know, Big Brother.
Is that prize money?
Yeah, like probably 50, 70K.
Yeah,
100K.
okay.
Dancing, there's not a lot of money in dance.
Yeah, okay.
This is what led me into what I'm doing now.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Right, because dancing is like, you are the product.
Yeah, correct.
You're
Yeah.
selling the product. If you're
yeah.
sick, if you're injured,
Done.
how are you making money?
Yeah, correct.
You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So
a
it's
lot,
not
of,
like-
a lot of pressure in it, right?
Yeah.
Music, I can sell music. I record it and I put it out. I can sell
Yeah.
it, right? And there's some way of selling it. But
Tangible, yeah.
as an artist, for me, as a dancer and artist, like that's why it pissed me off because that's the only art form that you have to keep performing. An artist, I can paint. I'm done. I can sell that
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah, yeah.
Musician, I can make producers. Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of
Yeah,
competition, but
okay.
you can sell it to the mass audience.
Yeah.
How do you sell dance to the mass audience?
If it's not a live performance or if it's not a recorded performance, yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
This is why it pissed me off, right? The biggest thing for a lot of dancers was like, oh yeah, one day we'll dance behind Madonna. I'm like, how demeaning is that? That your ultimate goal is to dance behind some artist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you like, and then I'm like, maybe I can go into like Cirque du Soleil. Cool with you because you're the superstars there, but no one knows who the Cirque du Soleil like stars are. You're
Yeah,
not gonna
correct.
get famous.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
They're just like, you know, circus freaks to a lot of people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's why I'm like, you know what? There's no future in dance. I do it for fun now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm still like loving it
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
my sanctuary. You know, if I'm like
Yeah,
stressed out, I need to
stressed,
dance.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still like, fuck, I can still do it.
Yeah.
But after that, that's when, you know, I started competing more. And
Yeah.
we won Red Bull BC1 in 2013. I was representing Australia for like 3 years.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That was for me probably the biggest achievement because I got big in the industry and not in the scene. Everyone started to know me. Oh, yo, Edit. I got like, I sell out all my workshops in Canada and in this and
Wow,
this.
yeah,
it was
yeah,
kinda like, I got my name in that, I got my vouch, like, approval stamp.
Yeah.
Boom. He's like one of us. He's one of the toppest, like, best b-boys in the world. So it's kind of like, I take that to pride. Like, that's probably my most proud moment. I'm like, you know what? I'm one of you now.
Yeah.
I'm one of the champions.
I'm the pinnacle.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like cool. That's when it goes. Right, 2018. I was just like, I'm getting sick and tired of just teaching and
Sure.
competing.
And so how many years did that stint last for?
Because
Over
I was
10
judging
years?
a lot. So I was judging a lot of
Oh,
competitions.
okay,
So I was
okay,
like,
okay.
Yeah, I was getting bored. I'm like, and I'm like, what can I do next? I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to start a shop.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity to buy a house or start a business. And then I put everything into the business. Like, I mean, everything.
Okay. Everything
didn't- I didn't like leave like any savings or
Wow.
which I should have.
Yeah.
Thinking about, I'm like, man, I overspent on that shop. Like just spent a lot of dumb shit on the store.
This was your old store,
It
right?
was an old store at Shafter Lane.
Shafter Lane.
So I would like buy like American oak wood.
We'll pop up some photos. You'll send me some photos and we'll pop them up on the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. If you check out the old photos, it's gangster. We had like steel work. We had staircase to nowhere. It's a small shop, but we spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
Shout out to the OGs that know the old King Street store. Not
Yeah,
King
it's
Street,
Cap-
the Shafter Lane
Shafter Lane,
store.
yeah.
Back in the day.
So that's
So when did you move? Was that established?
2013.
Okay.
Actually, the same year when I won the Red Bull BC1.
So you were still dancing and juggling.
Yeah, I was doing that.
Cabinet?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I think I won it in early the year, and I
Okay.
started the shop in October. So there was a quick turnaround where I was like,
yeah.
Was that a stressful time as well then?
not really. I
Not
was just
really, okay.
excited. I'm like, dude, I wrote the business plan in a month.
Yeah.
To write the business plan in a month was unheard of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I had like this program, I was writing it, and I went to see an architect company, and we designed the shop within a month, and then bam, 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 and we got
Wow.
it. And then we got accounts straight away. We got like
Wow.
brands straight away.
You had no prior influences in fashion, like you had no contacts or anything.
I
or
was
did
actually
you?
working on no contacts, but I was working in retail. So I was working at Foot Locker while I was dancing.
Ah,
Because
yes.
dancing, like, you're not making money.
Yeah, of
So you
course.
had to like do casual work at Foot Locker, and I was working for Adidas, G-Star.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like
Okay.
my fashion background. Because I want to start a sneaker store.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like influenced by like Highs and Lows. They were like the OG boys. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, man, I want to be like those guys. I want to open a shop like them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after I opened the shop, there was a lot of complications. Like, oh, I couldn't get Nike. I couldn't get New Balance. I'm
Right.
like,
There's a lot you have to learn there.
so
Yeah.
I was just like a lot of complications, a lot of politics in there, and I'm like, ugh, this is like my first experience in fashion
Yeah.
industry. You know,
All
what I
the
mean?
red tape.
Yeah, because you come in like so naive. Oh my god, it's so exciting! I'm gonna
Yep.
start my own business.
Yep.
And then door shut, door
Yeah.
shut, door shut, door shut. You go, what the fuck do I do? Like,
I mean, it sounds like you've been through it with the whole b-boy thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to kind of make another new circle of friends and new
Well,
contacts and everything. Like,
correct. That's why I'm like, you know what? This is how I'm gonna use my b-boy mentality
Yeah.
to be like put it in the fashion industry.
Yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
You close my door,
Yeah.
I'm gonna find my way to get around.
Yeah, sick.
I gotta get my approval somewhere else.
Yeah,
and that's when I get into high fashion.
Yeah.
So that's when I start traveling to Japan, to Paris.
Yeah.
And no stores in Australia were doing that. I was the only one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was the only one like start going there. And I was like, I went there by myself. I'm like, I don't know any Australians. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna make new friends.
Yeah.
Start
Damn.
making friends, start making connections. And then a brand would like my presentation because I'll pitch them, hey, I'm just a new store, but this is my direction.
Yep.
And one of the first brands to say yes to me was Comme des Garçons.
oh wow.
Which is like, for me,
Whoa.
was huge. I'm like, all right, Eddie, would love to see you. I'm like, well, I live in Australia. I didn't know like that I had to go there to kind of
Yeah,
do
it's
my
okay.
buying.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't understand the process of fashion at the
Of
time.
course, of course.
So this was
No,
your,
it's-
would you say this was your first big
one.
okay, big
And
signing.
my brand list at the time was just kind of like, I had small, like Accomplice, all these brands like, Stussy.
Yeah,
Like
it's okay.
really cheap brands. Not cheap, but like streetwear brands are kind of common.
Yeah.
But then I had a beautiful aesthetic store. The
Yes.
store was just like,
Yes.
I was like, when people look at the store, it's like, man, this is like.
That's like your
yeah.
portfolio. you
Yeah,
know, like-
yeah.
Yeah, so when I
correct.
see the photos, I'm like, oh, I love the store.
Yeah.
Then
Cool.
they see the content of the store, it's probably like, oh, these brands kind of shit. But
Yeah, yeah.
This has got potential.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's when I started going to Paris first time. I was like, what the hell? Because I was doing Japan first.
Yep.
Right? And Japan making friends. But I'm like, and Japan is a bit weird because the fashion week is spread out. So you see a brand in 1 week, You see another brand the next week. And for me, that was really expensive because that means I have to stay there
Yeah,
for
like
a month.
yeah, like 4 or 5 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But in Paris, the reason why everyone goes to Paris is because everything's condensed into 1 week.
Yeah, right.
So everyone stays for a week and they're out.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the problem is a lot of the buyers are from Northern Hemisphere. So, like, to fly to Paris from Italy, they don't even have to fly. They just take a train. So it's so much cheaper. For me, I have to pay $2,500 flight return,
literally
accommodation, food, and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like almost.
But I guess that
$7,000
means
trip.
like less competition for you, right? In terms of pitching it
Well, kind of, yeah. Look,
Australasia.
there's only like probably at the time, no one's doing what we were doing. Actually, no one was doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I started bringing my brands to, like, I'll start curating my own brands list.
Sure.
So I had Comme des Garçons.
Yep.
And then from Comme, opened another door. Do you know what I mean? Like public school. And they just been killing it at the time.
Yeah.
And from public school, I think Off-White was the next big one.
Whoa.
So we were the first store in Australia to bring Off-White in.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went to their first show. I got invited to their first show in Paris. Met Virgil, met everyone there. This is before, like, when they, and same with, so people don't know this, but our store, right, brought so many upcoming designers that people haven't heard of before at the time.
Right. So on the fringe of popularity before
like, you know, like when we brought Off-White in, no one knew who Off-White was.
Yeah,
No one knew
correct.
of
Okay.
it.
I still don't know who Off-White is.
Yeah, you know. So we brought Gosher Paczynski at the time, and like no one knew who he was, right?
Still don't know.
So he was like this viral brand at the time. It's like
Okay.
that was like went even crazier than Off-White. Gosher
Wow.
Paczynski. We brought in a lot of designers. Public school, no one was carrying it. Maybe one other store in Melbourne. That's about it. I brought in Heli DeMille. I brought in, you know, and these guys, the guys I met in Paris.
And why do you think that was the case? Like, do you just have a knack of like thinking about who was going to be the next big thing, or was it just by luck, or what do you think it was, or just networking, or
my business MO until this day, I always tell this to my customers too, and all the brands too. I run it like a fine dining restaurant.
okay,
So what I mean is, think of the chef. He goes to the market, and then he finds the freshest produce. And if it's not fresh, he's not buying it. He's not serving it to the customers,
okay.
right? And then he'll ask the guys at the market, hey, what's fresh? And I'm like, oh, I got this like tomatoes that I grew like this, or I've got this anchovies you might like. This is fresh.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
lobster is really good today.
They're quite special in their own kind
Right.
of sense.
Correct. And they'll tell you, oh, like the scallop's amazing today. Or I'm serving scallop today.
Yeah.
So I'd have that same mentality going to the fashion week, where like, and I'll ask the industry, hey, what's fresh? What's upcoming? What's like cool to have a look?
right.
interesting.
And then they'll be like, oh, you have to check out Gosher Paczynski. And I'm
Right.
like, who the fuck is Gosher Paczynski? And I'm like, all right, check out. Oh, you got to check out Off-White.
Yeah.
This guy, Virgil, is friends with like Kanye. He's doing this.
Right.
And I'm like, who the fuck is Virgil? Blah. Right. So that I start hearing this from industry, and then I start following these
Interesting.
buyers and like the big people, because like fashion industry is actually really, really small.
Yeah,
To a point where I'm like, I was sitting down and like, you know, the guys from Hypebeast would ask me questions. I'm like, why ask me questions? You guys are Hypebeast. You know what I mean? I should be asking you questions.
Yeah.
So they have no clue either. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to figure out
Dang.
what insiders like me and other people are trying to figure out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's a really weird kind of
damn.
Scenario.
environment.
Yeah, it
Scenario,
really
right?
is. So weird.
And even like the guys who are like in the in circle, like Virgil and all that, they're still trying to figure out what's hype, what's dope.
Yeah,
So they're just testing out. So when you actually inside the fashion world, for me it's like inside the b-boy world too. I'm like, all right, these are the circle, and then you have the inside circle guys,
Yeah,
right?
the
And
core.
I want to be in there to figure out what's gonna be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because once you're in there, you know what's gonna be.
Yeah, of course, because you see it. You see
Yeah.
it first because it comes to you first.
Yeah.
So in relation to all that fashion stuff that you've done now, and obviously with the old cab store,
Mm.
what was your best memory from that cab store?
Best memory, just like I remember selling the first pair of shoes, and you know, like, and then I remember this lady knocking on the door. I'm like, I let her in. It's like, hey, I start talking, and then she happened to be the founder of Hype DC.
oh,
Yeah, right.
That's huge.
It
damn,
was just funny. It's like, hey, my name's Cindy. I just like heard about your shop. Just want to check it out. And I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. And I was just cleaning the floor at the time, putting
Yeah.
the shoes up.
Yeah.
Start talking to her. I'm like, so what do you do? And like, oh, I just opened up a new shop. I'm like, what shop? Hype DC. I'm like, what? And then the system, yeah, she's the founder of Hype DC.
Wow.
And I was like, give me one tip. I remember this, right? Give me one tip. Like, just give me one tip how to be successful. Like, and she's like, Eddie, don't give any discounts. I was like, oh man, but I'm the worst. I give discounts every fucking time, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
Damn.
But it's funny that, and we had so many artists gone through.
Yeah. I'll put up some photos as well.
We had some. If you all don't know this, obviously Firman and Eddie have a long-lasting relationship for throwing a lot of like online stuff in stores, and Cabinet Noir has been the basis of a lot of artists coming through. You meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of famous people.
Yeah, well, it's so funny because I missed that on all my like favorite artists, right? They would come on a Sunday. So I missed that on Lupe coming down.
Right,
I was like, so the girls got to see him. We're with Lupe. I'm like, oh, fuck. Joey Badass was there on a Sunday, and I don't work on Sunday. I'm like, what, Joey Badass there?
Yep.
We had Post didn't come. I think he was supposed to come, but he was too high.
Good old Posty.
We had Diplo was dope.
Yeah.
Actually, the best memory was having Imagine Dragons.
That's Dragons. Okay.
Imagine dragging these nuts. Never mind. Continue running nuts.
I don't know if you know Imagine Dragons, but at the time I don't know much, but I know their music.
Yeah.
So we were having a sale, so the massive line in the front, and then we just saw like these group of guys, but they dressed really fresh, Gucci, bum bags, like top to bottom, just like brands you'd never see local kids wearing.
Yeah.
Yep.
They just look outsiders. You know when you know they're from the outside, like you know they're not from Perth.
This is what 2016, 17.
Like 16, 17.
Yeah, so for anyone to be wearing Gucci drop from top to bottom is like now understood. Now every kid with a Gucci bum bag, but you're talking about 2016 where
around there when he was.
Of course, they're completely abnormal.
So they were lining up for like 10, 15 minutes to get in.
To get into your store.
And they got in, and I just heard American accent. I'm like, where you guys? Like, we start talking. No, you guys dress fly. And then it's like, yo, what do you guys got? Like this, I go, look, I've got this, but I think you might like something from the back.
Yeah.
And I was stashing like these dope statement pieces from the back. So I brought an undercover out, like these jackets, like all the statement runway pieces.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're like, put it on. Yeah, I'll take this. I'll take that. What are those sunnies? So this Tom Brown? I'll take that. I'll have the Makita. Like, they start putting, I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? I'm like, so what are you guys doing here? I'm like, oh, we're playing tonight. I'm like, playing where? Oh, we're playing at Perth Arena. I'm like, dude, on a Friday, it must be somebody, right?
Yeah.
And I just went back to the computer, I'm like, Google, Perth Arena. I was like, who's playing? And I was like, fuck, Imagine Dragons.
Wow.
So they had the manager, the three guys, the vocalist wasn't there, but they ended up spending like 10 grand. Like,
wow.
And then one of them likes one of the girls was working with us at the time. And he's like,
wow.
yeah, what are you guys doing tonight? You should come to the show. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So they gave us VIP tickets,
Sick.
you know. And we had the best time at the show, and it was crazy. They were like probably one of the nicest. I mean, we have a lot of like artists, but some of them have like this ego.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't give a fuck.
That's how it is.
That's how it is. I think they're
Fame,
hot
man.
shit. They'll be like, oh, what are you going to give us for free? I'm like, nah, man, fuck you. You're not doing any
business, yeah.
business.
It's a
You know what I mean?
business.
It's a business. I'm not like, unless you're cool.
Yeah.
Then we give you something to wear. Do you know what I mean? But like, if you're just expecting it, then fuck that.
Yeah, of
You
course,
know?
of course.
I mean, which now leads into what you're doing now, and obviously 2009, 18.
Where'd you
So
move
we're
here?
here
Yeah.
2019.
Okay, yeah.
So we had the opportunity, and this is when like retail was kind of going slow because
Yep.
like the mining boom was gone.
Yeah.
So no one's buying anything. No one's
Online was going crazy.
Online
16 to 18, it just blew up.
Yeah,
Got
correct.
stores online. You've got fucking contingency stores online that you can buy all other brands on.
Yep.
Brands went online.
And then become like a discount culture, to be honest,
Yep.
because everything's online.
Yeah.
So like all the online stores that you shop from, like Essence and all that, 80% of their annual turnover are on sale items. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Culture Kings' biggest sales are always on sales.
Yep. So, you know, and that kills a lot of independent retailers like us, right?
Yeah.
So now my business model changed. When we moved here in 2019, you know what? I don't need these mainstream brands anymore.
Yeah.
Because these mainstream brands are so accessible.
Yeah.
You know, including Off-White. You know, I was like, dude, like you're so accessible that I can find you always on sale.
You're correct.
Yeah, no one will
Why?
buy, yeah.
Why do I have to, like, why do people have to come here to buy it?
Yeah,
full price
correct.
when they can
Yeah.
find it on?
Correct.
So that's one of my business model changed back to the fine dining experience. You know what? I'm going to serve you these ingredients that no one has.
Yeah.
And then it allows me as a storyteller, hey, guys, have you heard of this ingredient before? Have you used this before? Do you know this designer? Do you know what I mean? So
That's crazy.
that becomes like, I'm going back to the original blueprint of the Cabinet Noir.
Yeah, wow.
Um,
I mean, this store, I mean, you were always building networking relationships in Perth, and long before Cabinet Noir came along.
Yeah.
And I think Cabinet Noir gave you the opportunity to do so much in regards to networking and event running and planning and stuff like that. I mean, your relationship with IMS, your relationship with other events, your relationship with
This is what I like about Perth, right? People go, I mean, I hate Perth because everyone knows everyone. I love Perth because everyone knows everyone.
Yeah. I feel like you use it to your advantage, you know? Like,
Sil,
And
IMS.
the thing is, like, I want to build, like, my philosophy is always like, look, when the water goes up, everyone's go up.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
the
yeah.
boats go up.
Correct,
Right?
correct.
But unfortunately, some people like to sink everyone else's boats.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
correct.
That's kind of like the politics of it. But it's kind of sad. But I like when everyone's succeeding. When you guys succeed, I'm like, dude, it's a win for all of us.
Yeah, correct.
yeah.
It's a win for all of us. You know
Not
what I
many
mean?
people
Like,
think like you, though, bro. Not gonna lie.
yeah, but like, you know, but that's just the way they think. That's what I
Correct.
think as well. Like, I love when people like succeed. That's what I want to build with these guys. You know,
Yeah,
like some
correct.
people like want to do collaborations just so they build each other up.
Yeah.
Or like, I want to give platform to kids who are just starting up on fashion. You know, that's what we're
Yeah.
doing stuff with TAFE students. We're
Yeah.
doing fashion shows with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to create this as a platform for people who need it.
Yeah,
For
cool.
me, it's like fashion's always been a sanctuary for kids who used to get bullied at school, and now they find like sanctuary in like wearing clothes they feel like comfortable in,
Sure,
because at
yeah.
school they would get bullied.
Yeah.
But now they're being here, so hey, you're one of us. You know, we're gonna bring you as one of us. So this feels like, for me, Cabinet Noir is like a sanctuary for those kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like they belong. These kids who like feel like, oh man, I'm too weirded out to be
Yeah.
out there. I'm like, dude, I'm one of you too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now like the other kids looking at them, oh man, they're the cool kids now. I want to be part of them now.
Yeah.
And I love that.
That's an awesome atmosphere to build. That's an awesome environment to build.
Oh, 100%. I love that community we're doing in here.
So, in regards to now you're like, as you can see, everybody, Eddie's rocking the new Cabinet Noir stuff.
The monogram story.
Talk to us about now from going fine dining and providing us with beautiful ingredients, things we have heard of, to now producing.
Exactly, yeah.
This is where
Your own
our
fine
directions
goods.
changed a lot. Right now we're in the luxury precinct of Perth. So we're right next to Louis Vuitton, Tiffany's, Gucci's moving, Chanel's moving in. So this gives us opportunity to expand our own brand.
Yeah.
Because we were doing it in the old shop too, but we're doing it as a hobby.
Sure.
And we noticed like, oh man, we sold out. But we're like, we don't have the team for it. We don't have like a designer for it. We don't have like a production manager. We don't have, logistics, marketing. And then one day I was at a cafe and one of my old friends, Im's, just like, hey man, what are you doing? I'm like, man, you just start hanging out, start chilling. Oh yeah, I'm doing this, man, you're doing well. And he's running a brand called Banks. Shout out to Banks. Right? And
Silly.
and Banks was killing it too at the time. Like, dude, you guys been killing it with your brand.
Yeah.
And then Im's pitched me and said, hey man, we can do the same thing with your brand. Like, you have the name. I'm like, bro, I just don't have time and
the
resources and
logistics,
time,
of
like,
course.
people, team to run it.
Yeah.
And they're like, let me help you. And that's when we collaborated. We married the two teams, Banks and Cabinet Noir, together.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the rest is history. Like, we have our own, we got an office, design studio, creative studio now, AI. And we got, Sil's super hardworking dude, DJ extraordinaire.
Juggles a lot, doesn't he?
Juggles a lot.
Yeah.
Juggles like almost like, dude, how do you like, what's your schedule like,
How do you not have a cocaine abuse addiction? But continue that on.
yeah, stay away from drugs. But yeah, so that's like the beginning of that. So now we're like, I think second year now in, and then this year we just signed with an agency in London.
Huge,
So
huge.
a Thai agency, Matt. Shout out to Matt. And now the goal is trying to sell our brand globally.
Yes.
And this is a funny thing. To make it big in Australia, first you got to make it big elsewhere.
Yeah, that's crazy, hey.
That's
That's a
insane.
weird
you gotta
mentality.
go out to go
You
in.
got to out to be
to get
respected
noticed, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
especially in Perth. Like, you need to make it big out to get respect here.
Yeah.
So that's like where now we've got stockers in Saudi, our brands sitting next to like Gucci, Prada.
Wow.
Louis. Do you know what I mean? It's insane. Stores in Ukraine, in Germany.
That's awesome.
So we're going to expand a bit more. We got collaborations
Yep.
with Japanese brand Fucking Rabbits. We got a few collaborations coming up. But right now I'm looking at it. It's like there's no contemporary menswear, streetwear brand out of Australia.
Yep.
there's a lot of like streetwear brands. There's a lot of skate brands, surf brands, and whatnot. A lot of activewear brands. But in terms of luxury contemporary brand, like, you know, designer kind of thing, not really.
Yeah.
So that's the gap in the market. I was like, dude, and that's what we want to do. We want to create products like this would be costing $500 retail from a different brand, a luxury designer brand, and we sell it half the price, same quality or even better.
Yeah.
We take pride in that. I mean, it's still expensive, but like way cheaper than most of the competitor brands that are in the market at the moment.
Of course.
So that's what we want, and the support's been great. That's what I love about Perth. It's just the local support.
Yeah, the
they
support.
take pride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the best thing.
We've had a lot of pop-ups come in. Firman's been leading the charge for the online stuff. We've had guys, local artists come in, like obviously Slumberjack, Seal.
We've been making this space really quite a community space, right?
Yeah.
You are exactly.
Yeah.
So this place, when we designed the second space, because we couldn't do it in an old shop because it was like a lot of fixtures that we couldn't move.
Yeah.
When we moved in here, I want to make sure this place is like a cube that you can take the inside out.
Yeah.
And you can do parties. So we've done parties here. We've done comedy show
Yeah,
here,
correct.
Yeah.
art gallery,
Yep.
music listening party,
Yep.
fashion show. There's so many things
Live
that we've
drops, even live drops here.
Live drops, yeah.
When Banks drops or when Cab drops their
Yep.
season stuff, a lot of the stuff's open here. We have live DJs going on,
Pop-ups
drinks,
and stuff.
pop
And are Rain Square like supporting you in that, or are they?
Rain Square has been great.
Yeah.
I feel like now we're doing so much like activations.
Yeah.
The marketing team is always coming in to pitch, like to kind of like pick our brain. Hey, what do you think about this? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
let me tell you, this is how you should be doing it.
Yeah.
And it'd be great. Like the old landlord in the old shop has been like nightmare to deal with.
Yeah.
Whatever we want to do. Hey, can we do like music outside? And they're like, no, we can't. But here, hey, can we do music outside? Yeah. How many people are you gonna want? Like, yeah, make sure security is gonna protect you guys. And
Yeah.
That's crazy.
insane. And you know, you're dealing with like a major company.
Yeah.
And they're more helpful than the independents. That's why the landlords here are like so hard to deal with.
Yep.
You know about landlords are killing a lot of business, a lot of smaller businesses.
Subiaco and Mount Lawley, just to name a few.
Dead. And I feel so bad for people still, you know, under those landlords.
Yeah.
Greed took the best of them, you know.
It's tough, man. You watch them and all they want is they're not there for the culture. They're not there for the pushing and
That's the
succession.
key. They're
of
not there
this.
for the culture.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
You're just like, man, we can make this community beneficial. Sure,
So,
financially, but like beneficial.
And that's it. Like, we want to build community here. Because my ultimate goal, which I think is going to happen, I want to put Perth on a map as the fashion capital.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you're going to hear Paris, Milan, New York, Perth.
Whoa.
PER.
Big
Do you know
goals.
what I mean? It's
Big
like-
goals there.
Not really. It's doable. It's
I'm
doable.
sure it's doable,
I think it's
yeah.
so doable.
I have no idea about fashion, so that's why I question you, because I am the outside of fashion looking
Yeah.
in. So when you say that, you know, you're talking about Milan has history.
Yep.
France has history. Paris
History
has
starts from somewhere, right?
Correct.
So, like, you know, for us, like, there's no, like, when people think about Australia, they're like, oh, Melbourne, Sydney. But if you think about it, there's not even, like, you don't think Melbourne, Sydney in that fashion capital.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, so we want to be, and now Melbourne, Sydney looking what we're doing. So a little story, when we started our shop, there's a big store in Sydney that were emulating our blueprint. I'm not going to name who, but they're massive.
Hit that shit, Firman. Hit that. I want some.
So there's a
Ooh.
store in Sydney. So it's like, people don't know about this story because I don't tell them much. But
Expect no retaliation.
this is exclusive on Kick-Ons podcast, all right? So there's a major store in Sydney doing similar to what we're doing. And the owner used to call me, hey, Eddie, do you have contacts for this brand? I'm like, cool. Like, and then before I know it, he was like emulating all my brands list. And now he's, you know, they got bought by a big company, and you know, they're just pretty much doing our blueprint.
Wow. And they're still in business now.
Oh yeah, they're making a lot of money now.
Okay.
Yeah. By the time, because there's no store like us
Wow.
in Sydney.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Correct. And different situation in Sydney. More foot traffic. More,
foot traffic.
internationals.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
And like I've been offered by big corporations like in suits coming in. You know, I call them the sharks, right? Came in like, hey, how do we make your store global? Like, not global, like Australia wide.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to franchise the shop.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? That's, you lose your quality, you lose your direction.
Yep.
You lose your creative control.
Yeah, of course. You lose a lot of things in corporates.
I'll probably turn down a lot of money, but but you gotta stay true, right? So like, we're keeping the brand because the name is what we're keeping.
Yeah.
And it has like such an emotional attachment to it.
Wow.
And that's why now for us is like our crew, our family, just kind of like, right, cool. Cabinet Noir, we're gonna be the biggest brand in Australia. That's our goal, and we've been working really hard for it. And we don't have any big investors. Every money that we use come from the garments we sell.
Damn.
So do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's
or internally, right? It's from your team provides, so whether it be you forking it out or, you know, the business forking out or
100%.
him forking out or you know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But it's our own, like, you know,
Yeah, it's
pocket money.
internal. Yeah, correct.
It's not like a rich guy,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
a big corporation. Hey, I've got $1 million for you to, man, wish.
Yeah.
But, you know.
See, it makes it less genuine anyway, I think, when you do that, you know? Like,
100%.
I think so.
Isn't that the most like heartwarming, or not heartwarming thing? Isn't that the goal, to be self-funded? You know what I mean?
yeah, self-made,
Correct.
you know?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, to bring your dream alive by your own
And
hand.
every week at the office, you know, Ems would be, you know, giving us chats like how to, you know, we're all gonna be big at our own right.
100%. And your growth is insane. You talk about, you know, when I first met you from that store, big props to you guys. And this is, you know, boys and girls, we've said it so many times. We've had so many guys on the show talk to us about, if you want to be great, you got to start. You know what I mean? You can never be great without starting. And Eddie shows it, you know, his growth from Shafter Lane, from B-Boy to Shafter Lane to now. Immense.
Huge.
And that's the thing I always say to like young entrepreneurs, like, man, like kids always come, Eddie, I want to start a brand. I'm like, cool. So what have you done like for it? You're telling me what you want to do,
Yeah.
but have you taken that first leap?
Anything
A lot
on
of people
paper
are
and
like too
sketches,
scared
yeah.
to take the first leap.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't like, and then I give, you know, like once you've taken the first leap, all right, how far away are you going to run?
Yeah.
Are you going to keep running, or are you going to stop just first step?
Correct.
know
Or
what I mean?
you're going to stop when you fall over.
Yeah.
Or you're going to stop when your shoelaces
mate,
are untied.
Man, I'm still falling over. Like,
Yeah.
I've been in the industry for like 7
Everyone
8 years. And like, I'm still learning, and I'm still looking at my mentors like that I look up to overseas. I'm like, man, this guy's run the best shop in New York, and he's still failed. He's still close.
Learning, yeah, exactly.
And
Right.
I'm like, so there's no like, you know, everyone has to learn. Like the biggest designer still failed. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly right. And Ty Turner says this really well. He goes, you don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great.
Like, oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Shout out to Ty Turner. Appreciate that.
Ah,
That
Ty.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're running out of time. We're already like 42 minutes in.
Beautiful.
So we're going to start wrapping it up a bit. But have you got anything on the pipeline that you want to share with us that isn't not necessarily cab related, but anything you want to share?
Yeah, we're doing we're opening a cafe, so a Cabinet Noir Express. So my vision's like trying to, well, it's gonna happen. Cabinet Noir is going to be not just a fashion brand,
Yeah.
but it's the name that resonate with everyone. So whatever we put our branding, it's gonna be luxurious. It's gonna be conceptual.
Yeah.
Fine dining.
Right, fine dining restaurant. It could be a hotel.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Batman movies, see Wayne Towers, Wayne Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wayne Collective.
So when people see the brand, they're like, oh man, they associate with some sort of concept.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something that, you know, I want to expand on more. So
Yeah,
we've
of
got the
course.
brand at the moment. We're taking the fashion sector, you know, and that's, we're going to keep growing that because fashion is the, you know, the roots.
Yep.
Besides that, starting an app which is going to launch in a few months. Very, very excited, and that's going to change a lot of people's lives. I've been working on that for a couple of years now.
Oh, damn.
I like that. Hopefully it's to help me find a girlfriend because
Tinder's not working? Bubble's not working?
I am so... Continue.
That's about it, man. I've just been training. I've been started doing calisthenics and, you know.
Yeah.
So like this year I turned 35.
Oh,
and I want to
yeah.
let's go.
35 new things, new experiences. So
35 new things and experiences. Eddie's mantra.
Yeah, so every year I want to do, you know, the next year will be 36 new things.
Oh.
37 new things.
Yes, sir.
As I get
Not just
100
girls, huh?
Not just girls.
Oh, okay. Okay, Eddie. There's no need to smile like that.
Yeah. Why you're revealing me like that?
Let's go, baby. Expose.
Exposed.
Today on A Current Affair. Okay. Well, I think that's all we got time for. Eddie, it's been a pleasure
I
having you
wish
on
we
the
could talk
show.
for longer, but yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if
Yep.
you've never been to Cabinet Noir, and obviously there's lots of brands associated with Cabinet Noir like Banks and Cabinet Noir, and lots of amazing stuff in store. Rain Square in the city, Perth, WA, 6003.
No, 1,000.
6,000.
6,000
Still
is what it is
Northbridge.
where we're at. Obviously, Eddie's on. I will plug his socials at the bottom.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Edward Maradona.
I
You
chat
also
to
catch
everybody.
him.
Yeah.
You know, on the weekend at Butterfly, getting rowdy. If you want to, ladies, you want to buy him a drink, guys, you want to buy him a drink. Tequila is what he drinks. Tequila, good tequila.
Buy me drinks.
But also, if you want to come support local, this is the place to start.
It is.
Come through. Come. You know, you don't have to buy anything, right? Come through.
Have a chat.
When we have a pop up, come through. come chill, come see what it's about. If you're really into if this stuff resonates with you inside, if you really like that fashion stuff, you really want to talk about networking, business planning, come talk to us. Come chat to guys like Eddie, Ty, all the guys that we've had on the show and we will have on the show. These guys have knowledge to drop, but you got to make the first move.
Exactly.
Show us that you're worthy of this knowledge, and then we're going to run alongside you. We're going to watch you run. And on that note,
except for me, I don't like anyone.
Exactly right, and that's why he's single.
All right.
That's it. That's all our time we had with, ladies and gentlemen. It's been amazing having you back. We're back, season 2, episode 1. This wraps it up. All our socials are in the bottom below.
Yeah.
We're back, baby. Let's go.
Bye. Bye.